guys, have you ever been scaling a winning offer, winning product, winning campaign, 3K a day, 4K a day, then 5K a day, and you get stuck? I'm here with my friend Ariel, who has been an independent media buyer for 300 days almost.
I'm like 237.
237 days. He's worked his way up from literally not running any traffic on his own to now spending $5,000 per day profitably. And the margin's getting slim. We're going to help him break through. So I thought this would be a fun opportunity, not just to help my friend crush it, but to show you how to problem solve the same thing for yourself, because odds are you're probably going to run into this same issue at some point too. All right, Ariel. So let's not give the campaign away, but I want you to walk me through it. So you started running this how long ago?
I've been running this for quite a long time. I've been first running it on native, and it has been consistently doing pretty well.
Give me some ballpark numbers. So it's a lead gen offer.
It is a lead gen offer.
So you get paid you're sending a link clicks or like traffic to someone else's funnel.
Yes.
Right? Okay. And then if there's a successful form fill that hits criteria, you get paid what?
I get paid $4. Flat.
Okay, cool. So is there a cap, or like you limited to like hours or 100 leads a day or something like that?
Unlimited. I can do this 24/7.
Okay, so in theory, we could spend $100,000 a day if the max.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Is it a broad offer?
It's a very broad offer.
Okay, cool. So how many people in the U.S. would you guess could qualify for this? If you got 350 million people, 300 million, whatever it is.
I would easily say maybe 44% of it would qualify for it.
Okay, awesome. So now it's just a question of how do we scale, right? So how did you first start testing?
On Facebook or on native?
Yeah, let's go to Facebook.
Yeah.
So why did you move to Facebook? Just for more scale? Or?
So when I was running on native, the main issue I had was cash flow, because my current max cash is around 2,700 to 3K a day. After that, I can't really push further.
On credit card.
On my credit card. And it's a little bit hard for me to get a higher access to credit line. So, and one of the networks is providing capital, but it's only going to be on either TikTok or Facebook. So
they front you the money for Facebook, basically.
Yes. So they're fronting me the money on Facebook.
Is there a limit?
The limit is 40K a day.
That's a good limit.
That's really good. Okay. And it's 0%.
Nice.
So it's that's
okay, sweet, man. So there's no reason we can't spend 40K a day if the offer doesn't break. So how did you first start testing? What was your process?
So my main process was that I did this one was I started with doing a 1-1-4, so one campaign, one ad set, and then 4 ads in one ad set. And within those four ads, I was testing variations with it. I had one that's just no music. I had one with music.
Basically the same ad.
Basically the same ad. And then I had another ad concept in that same one.
Okay.
So
what was the spend, and then what were the results that you were seeing?
So the first one I did was this one.
You could even change the date range, and if you want to go back to, when did you first launch on Facebook?
August. I think I started this 2 weeks ago. And then I should see this was my first one. So that was my first one here.
Cool. And there's an autobid?
This one was on ABO.
Okay, cool. And you saw it, you just ran broad, so fully 18 to 65 plus.
Yeah.
Daily budget 50.
And I have to do finance category.
Okay, cool. I got it. Now, we could talk about that too. Maybe finding little workarounds for that may not be a bad idea, because there's some hacks and tricks there too, but sometimes you just get kind of stuck with running in that cadirect, right?
Yeah.
So we're testing debt campaign, and we could probably try to work around it, but it actually makes sense for us to run direct messaging around debt, because the math is still really good, right? Okay, so you ran this for how long?
I ran this, so I started this on August 19.
And dude, you were coming in cheap, and so if you go into the ad level, you got these could be your winner, right? So I go back and forth between this kind of structure when I test, and I also look at one ad per ad set just to force. I know a lot of people say not to do this, but it works for me usually. I like to force it to really test it, because more often than not, sometimes that may cost you more money to test that way by forcing every ad to spend.
Yes.
But usually the ones that work at that with that type of testing, for me at least, tend to have a good stick rate. Not always, but usually. Whereas here, the downside is sometimes you see, for example, This one, this ad here,
Yeah.
it got a bulk of the spend. It got, I mean, out of $450 spend.
Yeah.
Right here, $434 spend. It spent $359, but it had a good cost per lead, right? So you're getting paid $4.
Yes.
So what did you do from this point?
So what I did, because these two are, so if I go back here, this one and this one were like the same ad concept. The only different was the music, while this one was like a different concept, was different. So I focused on setting up my next campaign on running on like
Variations of those two.
So now I had variations. So now I had like
Did you try to scale those two first?
I just went straight doing like starting with like I went straight from doing like $50 a day and duplicated the campaign, and I started doing like around these. So I did like big cap and cost cap straight like
Okay.
250 each.
Let me tell you what I usually almost always do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say in this example, you're getting paid $4 a conversion, right? $4 a lead. I think your best winner based on volume and good cost per lead was coming at like $2.75. I would take that one ad, or even maybe the best two ads. The one I think next had almost as much volume, or like maybe not almost as much volume, but like a good amount of volume and a similar CPL.
Yeah.
Both had good like margin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I like to do is basically test those ads, and I want to test them in the hardest condition possible, meaning autobid.
Yeah.
So I would take those two ads and I would throw them into maybe if you're getting paid $4, probably like a $250 a day CBL.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to put it on autobid and I want to see it just run. No cost caps, no big caps. Just see how it sticks. Because usually when the offer's really hot and the creative is really fucking hit, usually, not always, but usually, especially if it's a broad offer, I'll see it very easy to scale on autobid. Did you try that?
I'm about to do it for tomorrow. So I just told my media buyer, hey, let's go ahead and dupe these out. But maybe I made a mistake just duping it 5 times, and maybe just like focus getting this one spending. This one's going to be spending $100 a day on ABO on the same videos that are winning. Or actually, I should just disable these.
Yeah, I would just pull in the best 2 ads, maybe 3 max.
Yeah.
If you're testing a ton of ads, you could do like 3 to 5 usually. It's like the
Got
sweet spot I find.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, what you did, you went straight with the winners,
Yes.
the early winners, and the cost caps, big caps.
This one. So yeah, my next campaign I did it. I just went straight into it was these two. So I went straight into I did a big cap, and then I did a cost cap.
But they broke.
This one kind of broke, but it stopped itself too. It's no longer, it's like stopped spending.
When did you run this?
This one I did it like 2 days ago.
Okay, so what happened? So it's August 27th.
Also, actually, this one I also run this on August 23rd. So if you want to get more data, this will be the one I can go forward for.
Why don't we do this? Let's sort by the most amount of money spent.
Yeah.
And then we'll look at these. Okay. I'm going to put that back. All right. So here, for example, these are the same ads.
Mm-hmm. No, these are different ads. That's a different angle.
Okay. Why'd you not just stick with the angle that worked from the start?
The reason why, I was playing around with Samar's VO3 and I made it so this way, like, let's test another variation and then another variation. So,
But you try to scale the next variation.
yes.
Okay. Now, to me, Facebook is like a numbers game. You could take one winning ad and you can multiply it out with 10 different hooks. You're going to get different results. It may skew where like 20% of those, 2 out of the 10 may have like really good performance, and the other 8 will be like mediocre to really bad. But I treat every ad iteration as its own unique ad.
Mm-hmm.
So just because those are iterations of the winner doesn't mean those are your next winners.
Got it.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if I were doing this, I would always start autobid testing
Yeah.
to see if we could get really good cost per lead out the gate, which you did. So you were coming at $2.50 to $3.
Yes.
And you're getting paid $4, right? So to me, we want to now move into phase 2, where I take the best ads from here and I put it into a bigger budget, autobid, and just see if it sticks.
Got it.
Often for this type of offer, which we're not going to share the offer on this video, but we were talking about before, this type of offer, it's very possible that an ad that works at low spend because of how broad and like the angle and what it is, it'll probably stick when you go to bigger budget. Or auto bid. Sometimes actually the manual bidding and cost caps can like complicate it and make it not work as well from my experience, right? So what you're doing tomorrow is what I would recommend you have done the second week in August or like after you saw it work at a low
So
spend.
once it worked, I would just like go set up a new campaign with the same ads and test it at a higher budget, like 250.
Don't complicate it. Yeah. Phase 1, you test. Phase 2, you move the winning from the test into the bigger budget. So see if it holds and sticks.
So my mistake was I just went straight into big cap and cost cap right away.
I wouldn't call it a mistake. It's just not the way I would do it, right? I'm sure that'll work too. But I think I'd rather really test it to see how hard we could push it before it breaks.
Yeah.
Because I start to usually implement big caps and cost caps when I see inconsistency in the cost per lead or the cost per purchase or whatever it is with a CBO, bigger budget autobid.
Got it.
When I see it fluctuate. Like we're testing a new offer right now. I think we'll only spend like $1,000 a day because it is capped and it's a retainer payout. So we actually don't know if the leads today convert for 2 to 3 days on average. But like from the math we've seen the last month, I've seen it consistently convert at an average conversion rate. So I have confidence to push it and our ROI is crazy on it.
Wow.
But I can't scale it yet, right? So the point I'm trying to make is we first started this process exactly as I'm explaining. We did 1 ad per ad set or batches of 3 to 5 similar ads per ad set. And we tested like 50 ads. And that was our test. That's another thing too. I would test a lot more ads up front, at least 30 to 50, maybe minimum, maybe more if depending on like your creative process. And then take the best 3 to 5 from that, move it into this bigger budget CBO like I'm talking about. And with this offer that I'm talking about that we're running internally, we don't have the cap to scale yet, but it held the test. So we were seeing $7 to $10 cost per lead here. I moved it into the big budget CBO, $8 to $10 cost per lead.
Whoa.
And it's spending $500 a day. So, and it's a niche, it's a single state offer compared to yours, which is nationwide.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I recommend. Now, let's say in my scenario that we started to see it fluctuate 10 to 20, 10 to 30, and we were able to scale it and spend more, increase the budget, however we do it. That's when I would implement cost cap, big cap testing. Make sense?
When I scale a little bit higher,
if you see autobid is kind of hitting a wall.
it's like hitting a wall.
Yeah, man, because you could talk to all the big affiliates that you and I know. I guarantee you some of the bigger guys in there, they run autobid only. Like they don't even touch big cap, cost cap. And a lot of times that's because they're going directly to the buyer or it's their offer. So they could spend $50 a lead, whereas the affiliate offer only pays out like 10 or 20.
Yeah.
Make sense? So that's like another advantage that we're not even like going into in this video.
Yeah.
You could just get paid more, right? So like that's what allows me to scale our CPA deals that we mainly run so well because we're getting paid like a high ticket. Now there's a low conversion rate, but our like EPC versus CPC is very high if we get the math to work right. So we can afford to scale hard on autobid until it starts to break. And that's when we introduce big cap, cost cap.
Gotcha.
Okay.
It's like the same thing like I do on native. Like if it starts to break off, then I'll just turn on to target CPA.
Exactly. I'm not a native buyer, so I have nothing to share there.
Yeah.
But just for the sake of like your ease and your sanity and your money making ability,
Yes.
test autobid, see what hits here, try to move it into a CBO, like a relative jump to the CPL, right? So if the average cost per lead is like 20 and that's good, you probably could do like a $250 to $500 budget, right? That's like a safe bet. I know you were talking about you had to have indeed the confidence to spend more.
That was my issue. Like I was fearing that it was gonna break at 250.
But it could, and that's okay. You have to have that confidence, man. Like for example, we tested 5 new offers this month. 4 of them we lost money on. I think collectively I've lost $25,000, $30,000.
Wow.
And it sucks because I also don't get a real-time reporting. We see what monetizes today over the course of 3, sometimes 7 days. So there's already a lot of risk, right? But I have a lot of capital set aside for this, and I'm okay taking the risk because of past performance, right? Like this happens, right? But the 5th offer has had a crazy ROI. The one I'm talking about where we're spending like $1K a day. and it's out earns all of our losses on the other 4, and it's continuing to spend and scale. Right. So just like that's a big part of it, having the confidence. I've been there, man. I know what it's like. Like
It's scary.
when I first started doing affiliate marketing, I had come out of, we were just coming out of COVID, and I remember like I just bought a house. I had like a little bit of cash left. I just paid off this debt that I'd been carrying for like 5 years, right? And I was moving in affiliate marketing, and like every campaign like kind of like had to work for me, but some of them didn't, and that's okay. Like the first campaign I did was refi when everyone else was printing money, because I didn't get it. I didn't understand how this stuff actually worked, right? The game that's happening on the advertiser side, type of creatives you need to run, like how aggressive you can or can't go, or you need to go also. And I think I lost like, I don't know, a couple $1,000s trying to make refi work. And I was like, fuck this. And I walked away from it. And I was like pissed off.
Oh, remember, I saw that video.
Yeah, I've openly shared this. This is just, it's what happened, right? And then the next thing I tested, I lost money as well, but I understood how things work more, because it was like a ping post. So we were actually selling the leads real time to a insurance buyer for self-employed health insurance, like very niche offer. But my friend was the offer owner, so I understood how the game worked more.
Gotcha.
And then I started I ran Camp Lejeune after that. As well, ran 1 or 2 more offers, and then we ran Camp Lejeune, and I spent like at the peak with me, I spent $7,000 and made $27,000 in one day.
That's crazy.
But that's not typical. Like results are not guaranteed in any way, shape, or form. But like that can happen. It's just very uncommon. But I mean, it's very realistic. You get $1.30 back for every dollar you spend, or $1.50 back. Like that's totally possible. Or $1.10 or $1.20, and you have like high volume, right? So does that make sense?
It's like the same situation. When I first started out in native, I was like scared. But like as I started like being more comfortable with like when I spend, now I'm like, okay, I know the strategy. If it does well, yellow swag, I'm gonna like target CPA, and then like I'll put it at like 5,000 a day.
But you probably
like,
had to lose some money
to
like understand that.
That's what I did, yes. But now I know. Now I'm more comfortable with native.
I think that's the real thing, man. Too is, I remember when you first started media buying, like you asked a lot of questions.
I was asking a lot of questions,
which is normal. Like you should ask questions, but I think it's a combination of asking questions, getting good feedback, and then just doing it. And like you have to just jump, right? You have to spend ideally your own money. Like this is a problem with a lot of agency guys. I feel like they don't have that little edge that affiliates do, because affiliates are risking their own money, right? When you risk your own money and you're not spending someone else's, I mean, you could learn the way for sure running an agency. There's some great agency owners out there. Don't get me wrong, but I think affiliates are really cut from the best cloth, because they put their own money on the line, and they more often get fucked in some way, one way or another.
They're trying their best to make it work for you.
You're taking, so the amount of risk you take, I think too, right? But that's why there's the high reward. Okay, so you went into big cap, cost cap. What was your approach for this? So well, first of all, you use different creatives, use iterations. You didn't use the existing.
I just made like different creatives. So I had like there's 2, 3, 4. So those are different. They're not like similar variations, but they're like more different ad concepts. So I had like this one, and with this one, it's like, yeah, this is like a different woman. So, and then I had another one here, which is, where is number 3? Number 3 and number 5, I know I used the same woman, because I realized that one was working. I accidentally deleted number 3 by accident.
You could go to, you want to see it?
Yeah.
So you go to deleted campaign status.
Oh. Shoot. Yeah, it's not showing up.
It's right there.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah.
Oh, we gotta, hold on. You gotta do it for everything. Deleted and deleted. Wait.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, so this one was kind of like the same woman.
Dude, but these are good costs. Like, why would you not scale this?
Yeah, like this one.
Is this just a confidence thing?
It was confidence. I was like not that confident. That's why I went straight to big cap and cost cap. Like I didn't want this to break.
But you also didn't spend a lot of money. So this campaign was, it was $500 a day, but it probably didn't spend the full budget, right?
Yeah.
Okay, your cost cap was 3. I find, and you've seen me talk about this in my videos before, I find more often than not, I have to overbid beyond the break-even point to get it, to really get spend volume and a good cost. And it's funny, man. Like, for example, let's say with this offer, let's say you test, we'll go over what I would recommend for bid cap testing, but let's say you're testing your bid caps. Like, I find testing ranges is the most effective versus making adjustments.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I may find I'll test, let's say $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, and up to 10. I may find I get good volume, like let's say 50% of the budget spends at $4, $5, and $6, but the $6 bid might actually get me a better cost per lead than the $5, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like my recommendation to you and everyone watching too. I actually was on the plane over here flying last night to Denver, and I was chatting with ChatGPT for like an hour about big cap cost cap strategy. It's really interesting because it's as simple as it sounds, but there's also like the auction, which is based off of like estimated action rate versus some other factors too. Like, have a chat with ChatGPT. Just talk with them and have them explain to you big cap cost cap, because they're going to aggregate from a bunch of credible, and you could tell them sources. You could say like Andrew Ferris. You give them other like Tim Bird, all these other guys that have content about it, and say, hey, talk to these, like look at these guys around the internet, find their information, and then explain to me based on what you learn from them and what you understand of big cap, cost cap versus autobid, and explain to me how this works like a 3-year-old.
Got it.
And they'll walk you through it. It's super cool. And it's really, like, in my opinion, it's accurate, man. So I would recommend you do that as like a little homework, and everyone watching too.
Thank you.
So, you basically tested new ads and you went straight big cap, cost cap.
Yes.
Okay. So remember, always test autobid. You could do this too, right? But if you want to follow what I recommend that I know works, go autobid for the testing and then pull the winners into scaling and then move the scaling into big cap, cost cap.
Got it.
But if you want to test this strategy too, maybe do it in a separate ad account, just because you got like 50 campaigns.
I know, it's like a mess.
Yeah. So does that help?
That definitely helps.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that's the mistake you're making. Not a mistake. I don't want to say like there's not one way to do this, but I think you're doing yourself a disservice by like skipping steps and then putting ads here and then not making the most of the ads that prove themselves early.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then does that make sense around like the bids? So always bid like, just under, at, and above.
Like bid range.
Even.
So I did something, that's what I did with this one. So with this one here, I did something where I had something where it's like 150, 250, 250, and I had like 50 cents increment on it.
And it spends on the most expensive one, almost everything. That's normal. It's always going to basically spend to the highest. So
yeah,
this is the issue. I mean, this works, right? But I find more often than not, going with one campaign, one ad set. So remember we scale in a single ad set CBO?
Yes.
I duplicate that and then I put a bid there, and then I duplicate that and I get another bid, and then I duplicate that and I get another bid. So like, let's say you want to test $1 through $5, just as an example, you would have 5 campaigns, one bid per. So it forces them to spend
gotcha, I see
on the bid, or it doesn't spend at all.
Will you also recommend doing like setting up as like a ABO instead in like one campaign?
You can test it. I just do CBO.
Gotcha. So CBO, okay.
CBO, one bid per campaign. So it's like, this is X offer, $5 BC. Duplicate. X offer, $6 BC. X offer, $7 BC. X offer, $8 BC.
Got it.
And most likely, almost always, like for your offer, $4 is the break even. Usually if you bid under, the $3 or the $2 or even the $4 won't really spend. The 5, 6, 7, 8, you'll start to see more spend as the bid increases. But you're looking for that sweet spot between the two.
Yes.
Okay?
That makes sense.
Cool. So, dude, I think it's pretty simple what you need to do. It looks like you're trying to almost jump into more of like a scaling situation with ads that are iterations of the winners that you haven't tested. So to backtrack and kind of like summarize, validate first. You can iterate and revalidate. So when it comes to creative testing, have your creative testing like cycling back through. You could try like jumping into the big cap, cost cap stuff. I don't recommend it. I'd recommend you always feed it back into like, you can even do this if you want to simplify it, which I've been doing more of. You have one big ass campaign, and you can turn ad sets off if they suck, right? One big campaign, auto bid, ad set budget. So if the ad flops or the group of ad flops, you just turn it off.
That makes sense.
And then it's clean, right? You have this for testing every 3 days, 7 days, every single day. You put more ad sets in here and you test more ads. And then if they graduate, then you put them into a scaling campaign on auto bid. And then the scaling, and if that sticks, you keep increasing the budget. If it flops, you duplicate, or let's say it does okay, but you want to get more, the ROI is not great, then you move it into the split on your big cap cost cap.
Gotcha.
And also do your ranges of big cap and also do your ranges of cost cap. They function a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But you'll still like kind of hack your way, and it's not hack your way, but maximize the campaign.
Like what I did for cost cap was like I was like looking at like breaking down on the day, and then I was like eyeballing.
The fluctuations in spend.
I was eyeballing on like usually the CPA would be I'll eyeball it here, and then I'll make a decision. Okay, I'm gonna put this one at 350, or I'll usually put it above. So let's say if the cost per result was doing phenomenal at 250, then I'll move it at like $3 for cost cap. So I haven't tested out cost cap with bid range.
But remember,
yet.
you're almost always going to have to overbid to get volume, and ideally like a good CPL. If you set it at, I know some people swear by this, but I think the issue with affiliate marketing is if you own an e-com brand where you can break even at $50 and then you also make money off the back of it, right? You could set your big cap at 60. You could spend 60. You lose $5 or $10, but you'll make it back month 2, month 3, month 4 if it's a subscription or something. That same offer would pay the affiliate like 40, right? So if you try to bid around $40,
it's not going to get spent
because Facebook knows it can predict the average cost per lead or conversion is going to be probably like 50 to 60 in a real world scenario, even with the best creatives. This is my theory with big cap, cost cap, but it's like you kind of need to, so you don't like blow it out at like $80 cost per lead where you're getting paid 40, right? Because usually it doesn't matter if it's an e-com offer or a lead gen offer. If they're running traffic for themselves and they're seeing 50 or 60, they want to pay us like 45, right? Unless they're like smart, which a lot of these guys aren't, then they pay us like 70 because we could bring volume and we don't need to run stupid ads. But most people don't think like that.
Yeah.
They're thinking about how do I get the cheapest CPA possible from these affiliates where they're taking all the risk and I don't have to think about it. And then like that's where problems, that's a whole nother video we could talk about later. Okay. So just think of it that way too.
Got it.
Right. Almost always overbidding slightly. You got to test where the bid is, but that will almost always give you what you want. But test it. Sometimes you come in under, but sometimes not.
Yeah. Like some of them, they did come under. And then others like it works better at like 450. So
right. Well, here I bet nothing spent but the 450.
Yes.
Right? Oh, this one, no, you get some volume here, but not really. I mean, with it, I used to run only like this where we would do one campaign and like 5. I learned this from Jose Torres, and then each one has its own bid. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it basically just spends on 5. So I'm like, why am I doing this? Why don't I break these into individual campaigns? Because the CBO is deciding to spend on the highest bid. So that's not really like, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Right. So try to break it out. But just to kind of recap, keep testing new creatives. Like you got to keep funneling them back in, but test those on auto bid. See what just sticks on its own without having to like manipulate it with bids, right? Because if it sticks here, it'll probably stick here when you go to put it into a bigger budget.
Gotcha.
If it starts to break or it's not super strong, but it's like good, you still have good performance. Maybe it's like a 10 to 20% ROI instead of like 30% ROI. That's when you duplicate, and that's when you split your bids on big cap and then also on cost cap.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay.
So also I know about like vertical scaling. Is it, if let's say the campaigns has been doing successfully, is it okay to like
I rip the budget every like 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we run for these types of offers that are more similar to yours. Like our legal offers, it's different because it's like a high ticket CPL.
Yeah.
It's very niche. It's similar, but it's different. For our broad offers that we run where we get paid like $10 to $30 like on a rev share or like a fixed CPL, what I'll do, we run on a schedule, so it's also a little bit different that way. But we start the campaign. Once we validated creative, we put into big budget CPO, and we launch. And then on that first day of scaling, we'll see how it does overall. But if it hits, we basically double the budget every 1 to 2 hours. We'll like go from like 500 to 1,000, and then 1,000 to 2,000, and then 2,000 to 5,000. And then we'll usually do that across multiple ad accounts too.
Got it. That's
Okay.
fly.
Because also with other offers, like this sounds like it's like a big blue ocean.
It is.
And it's an exclusive offer you told me about. So when it's more these competitive offers where like, let's say you're selling to one direct advertiser or an insurance advertiser for like auto insurance, they maybe have 20 or 30 buyers on the back. Those buyers only buy a finite amount of leads per hour, for example. You know this from working in a network.
I know this.
So if you push too hard on an hour-to-hour basis, you might fill their cap, and then your earnings per click drops because the leads are basically your clicks are not monetizing. So that's not relevant to this offer, but in general, for everyone listening, when you do run affiliate offers, you need to like basically be monitoring your CPC against your EPC at all times, because a lot of times I see once I get consistency with Facebook and my winning ads, my consistent conversion rate, my average CPL. Maybe I have the big caps and cost caps layered and I'm pushing volume. Usually I see the hardest part is actually not breaking the advertiser, because sometimes the advertiser, you're just filling their budget. And then by the end of the hour, EPC goes from like $5 and it starts falling and falling, falling. And then it resets the next hour because the buyers that they're selling to have a like, we buy 500 leads an hour or 100 leads
So
an
it's
hour.
like it's just like an hourly cap.
Depends on the advertiser, but yes, this has been my experience. I don't know if you've seen the same thing too. With
I've seen it more on pay per call.
Yeah, pay per call. Yeah, lead gen, pay per call. But this is like a unique offer. This is a very open, uncapped offer. Okay, does that help?
That definitely helps.
What questions do you have?
I'll ask one. I also want to talk about like iterations, because I think one mistake I didn't do was iterations. Like I just went through it. Like it was like already a winner.
I started testing new ads almost.
Yeah, I was like testing like so each one of them was actually a new ad.
Were they the same script or?
It was a different script, but
so everything was different.
It was different, but like it was like working perfectly well. Winner.
Well, you had
winner,
multiple
winner.
winners, so you jumped your next round of creative testing into a big cap. You skipped the autobid, which I mean, it's not like it didn't work. Remember, there's more than one way, but you jumped it into like a low cap, so you didn't even give it a chance to like spend, right? So when it comes to iterations, I was at Alex Fedidos's mastermind in Dubai, which was very e-com focused, but I wanted to just get a different perspective, right? And our big takeaway from that, and we completely changed our creative process with this. For months, we've been doing video ads for about 2 years, very heavily. That's been our main focus. For the first year and a half, we would basically do like 50% of the time, we do iterations with different hooks. 50% of the time, we do like random ass concepts.
Yeah.
Right? And random ass concepts, you'll find some really good winning concepts, but usually it's a really low success rate. Iterations of existing, like different hooks, or maybe you change one variable, just the voice. Maybe it's a different UGC person, but everything else is the same. B-roll, background, script.
Like gender.
One thing.
Yeah.
Change one thing. Usually hooks is where we start. You'll get better results there, right? There's more leverage, there's more squeeze there versus new concepts. But new concepts are important too, because this concept and script and angle will die eventually.
Yeah.
Right? Put 80 to 90% of your effort here and 10 to 20% of your effort here.
Got it.
Okay?
Because I figured out the angle. So once I figured out the angle, I based my strips around the angle. So every single video I was making, it was like a winner, 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 winner.
I know, but you didn't scale them. You didn't really like put the gas behind it. So the only way you're gonna know is if you throw.
I just gotta spend it. I just gotta spend it on.
You can even look back at the last like 30 days, which we are.
I think I started this in August on Facebook.
Okay, so we'll say this month. Yep.
Yeah.
So we could even go here. I guess all this is the same offer, right?
Yes. All of this was the same offer, and then at the offer level.
Look, here's what you do. You take these might be the same one. Oh no, those are different. Okay.
Yeah.
Take this one. 380, that's a little bit slim. See, I don't know if these are like big cap, cost cap, or autobid. And this looks like, I'd probably take this one, this one, this one, this one.
Yep.
And then like this one.
Yeah.
And then I would throw those 5. You could use post IDs.
Yep.
Throw those 5 into a CBO. one ad set for the CBO, autobid just to see how if it breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And if it sucks, like after $100, you kill it,
Yeah.
right? If it crushes, you just let it ride. After 1 to 2 hours, you could double the budget if the margin's good. Usually, if I have like a 30% margin, I'll push the budget. But you got to monitor it and make sure the next 2 hours it doesn't like shrink to like 10%.
Gotcha.
Right? That's how I would scale. Super. You have a ton of data here.
Yeah. I think also what helped was that I was feeding the data from my native ads campaign. So like I was feeding the pixel with that data too.
Maybe.
But no.
I think my belief is the pixel's bullshit. The ad account optimizes.
Gotcha.
Like usually it like takes off like a plane for me. Like in my perception of Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I start spending, like sometimes it's hot and it just like takes off like a rocket. A lot of times like there's testing and it takes off like a plane going off the runway.
Got it.
Right? But that's what I would do. I would just take your best 5, throw them into a $500 a day CBO tomorrow, look at it. I know you're going to be sleeping at 1 a.m., I hope. So, but yeah, you want to basically like scale it throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you run 24/7, I don't have.
It runs 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, maybe start at like 250, and then when you wake up, like double it if it's hot.
Okay.
And then double it after 1 to 2 hours if it's hot.
I mean, people have been
Bro, you
telling
could
me,
push it to like 5K a day. Like you usually after 5K a day, not always, but like for affiliate offers or like these lower target offers, usually after 5K a day, you'll see a little bit like a lot of volume, but a lot also like fluctuation too.
Got it.
Okay, but that's what I would do. You have tons of data. You have winners here. But then I would also maybe recycle your creatives with iterations back through a creative testing process. Okay?
Okay.
Cool, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Keep us posted on the results. I would love if in like 2 weeks you're like, hey guys, you won't believe what happened. I did the scaling like he said, and I did 10K a day. That'd be sick.
I'll be sick. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
You know, 10K a day, like even at like 20 or 30% ROI, that's life.
Dude, it's life-changing money for most people
Like-
on the planet.
Yes.
You're already doing, man. You're kicking ass. Anything else?
The post IDs, how important is it?
You know, actually, funny you mentioned this. I've been lazy about just duplicating ads and not using post IDs, mainly because sometimes the original ad or one of the duplicates of the post ID will get rejected. And then when you try to go use that same post ID for every new campaign, it automatically gets rejected.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't also. So I've gotten really lazy the last year. We just duplicate.
So you,
But
yeah.
when I was chatting with ChatGPT last night on the plane, like I was telling you about for like an hour, they were saying that estimated action rate, which is a factor in with the bid. I think the formula for Facebook is like bid times estimated action rate times, I forget what the other thing is, like quality score or some shit. They were saying that when you carry the post ID over, it carries over like
Engagement?
Yes, and like the statistical significance around the estimated action rate, which factors in. So I don't know. I just actually launched some tests to scale with like more aggressive bidding with post IDs this morning. So I don't know yet.
Because for me, it's just like I will duplicate it and then I'll change the campaign link because I want to keep things organized. That's usually how I do it. Because sometimes I don't want to mix everything into like one campaign link.
For a tracking link?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I like to keep it like separate.
For what? Every single
Yes, for every single new campaign.
Dude, no, I wouldn't do that. I don't think. You've got so many variables. You're testing you're trying to like scale into a bunch of new ads that you haven't validated, kind of, but not really. Like you literally made new ads similar but completely different from the original.
Yeah.
And you try to scale those. I mean, it could work, but I wouldn't do that.
So what I should have done was like just use the one campaign, just one testing campaign, and just like throw in new ads into a new ad set within that same campaign.
You could even make a new creative testing campaign every launch if you want to. Like we typically have like a weekly cadence unless we want to really rush creative. So we'll have like a Monday batch of 100, 150 ads, mainly like 5 to 10 concepts times whatever times iterations.
Yeah.
But like 150 unique ads, right? And we'll put that usually into its own creative testing campaign.
Gotcha.
Because there's so many ads and ad sets at that point, right? But we could always just do it in the same campaign too, which we also do sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
And also, I'd recommend you try to for your net. Let's say, for example, you do a creative testing. Today is Wednesday. You prep stuff over the weekend, and you go into an iteration test with like 30 to 50 new ads next week on a ABO, like I was talking about. Test it in here, and then also test that in another ad account.
Okay.
Okay. And then you could start to repeat the scaling process there as well if you find winners, which you should.
Why is it like sometimes it may not work in one ad account?
Because it's Facebook. That's why.
It's so different. Like
in theory, a winner should carry over, but it's just not the reality sometimes. At least, but remember, the targets we have as affiliates are very like aggressive, lower payout, like lower CPA targets compared to what they should be in reality. So I think that's part of it too.
So I could have just take my winners and maybe like test it on 2 or 3 new ads.
I 100% would, because you always run the risk of this ad account going down too. How pissed would you be if tomorrow you spend 10K and you make 30% on top?
I'll cry.
And then the ad account gets disabled.
And then I don't have it and I don't have actual ads.
So I typically will scale an ad account, I think in the last 6 months, to maybe like 20K a day. But at that point, I was already in 2 or 3 other ad accounts. So that one ad account, we capped out at like 20K.
Got it.
And then I pushed the same process I'm talking about in other ad accounts. Perfect. Anything else, man?
Yeah, I think with everything you gave me, I just gotta implement what you mentioned. Like take these into like a new campaign. Just launch it as a like a CBO, auto bid.
If it sucks, you kill it.
Yeah.
You could, if it's like around break even, then maybe if you want to give another go, you can move it into like a big cap, cost cap thing, right? But then in the meantime, make sure you're testing iterations in a creative test.
Got it.
Okay.
That makes sense. Thank you.
No worries, my man. If you guys have any questions, drop in the comments below. Always happy to share stuff like this. Do not bother Ariel about what his offer is that he's running or his creatives. Leave him alone. Just take the lessons here, because there's gold in what we talked about in the process. And this is a perfect example of a campaign that will scale.